Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Proline Daily, direct from Las Vegas. I'm John Cranton, joined by world champion handicapper Jim Feist. Going to take a look at baseball and NBA action for Wednesday. Go through some betting lines for you. First, Jim, we're going to start out. You had a winning record overall yesterday, part of a 101-64 NBA run and a terrific day in baseball. However, it could have been better if the Washington Wizards, who were winning the whole damn game, and then they had that unusual overtime. Must be kicking a lot of people kicking themselves with tickets on the choking Wizards from yesterday.
Well, it was the choking Wizards, but I think it was more the tired Wizards. They played very hard. It was a very physical game. A lot of it reminded me of going back 20 years and what the NBA looked like back in those days. A lot of bruises, a lot of bumps, a lot of big falls, a lot of penalties. It was kind of a very physical mess. It wasn't like current NBA play during the regular season at all. But I've had a great record. The Wizards were tired in that fourth quarter and overtime. I think they scored 30 points, where Isaiah Thomas scored 29. And I don't know about you, but that 5'9", you'd think that's a tremendous liability, but this guy is exceptional. What a basketball player. He could be on my team any day. Yeah, there's a lot of great guards in the NBA, but boy, I'll tell you, he is dynamic. And right now, Washington's licking their wounds, going down 2-0, going back home, and they got to turn this series around. And the physicality of it, but Boston has better depth. And I lost with the Wizards yesterday, but I feel like I had the right side. But they did get worn down at the end of the game. They were short-arming all their shots. They were slow of foot. And they had some banged-up players at that point. So now can they turn it around? Can they bring some energy to the game that they need for four quarters? Because this Boston team is on fire right now.
Yeah, that shot that Thomas made in overtime when he was fouled and fell backwards and then somehow got it off one-handed and went in. It was just a spectacular performance. Washington has a losing record for the season on the road. Very different team at home, so they're going to have to bounce back. And have to remind everybody that Jim hit his high roller release yesterday. It was the Minnesota Twins 9-1 blowout, as well as his rivalry game of the month in baseball on the Tampa Bay Rays. What do you have going for tonight?
Well, I got a 3-pack of NHL games going tonight at jimfeist.com. I'm 195 and 149 plus 22.97 in the NHL. NBA TV Showdown tonight as well. 5 days of plays for just $10, including a $500 high roller. You can go to jimfeist.com for all of that, or you can call my office at 866-546-9467.
All right, let's get into one of the NBA games going for Wednesday. Get Houston at San Antonio for Game 2. Got a betting line here for the Spurs, about 5.5. It seems to where it's been since yesterday. The total's gone up a little bit, 215.5 to 216, and certainly an angry bounce-back spot. Houston with that stunning victory in Game 1, leading by 30 points at the half against a Greg Popovich team that really shocked everybody to see his team play that badly, particularly at home. So now, Jim, when you look at tonight's game, I mean, there's every different angle you can look at. Coaching, chess match with the coaches, home court bounce back, angry motivation. Do you look at any one in particular or kind of take them all together?
Well, the typical zigzag theory is you look at the team that lost Game 1 and come back and try to find a way to play them in Game 2. I don't disagree with that. It leads you to the Spurs, of course. Now, on top of that, you got an angry team and an embarrassed team. So angry and embarrassed are two different emotions. And you have the combination of both of them. And you have Popovich, who is a great coach, but he's not perfect. He has lost series before. Houston has played very well against this team. Houston has more speed. They're younger. And this is the problem I see with the Spurs. And I have to fault them for the way they built this team. Yes, they might have the second best player in the league on their team in Kawhi Leonard. Parker's older. Danny Green is older. Aldridge is older. David Lee is older. This is an aging club. Now, the pick and roll causes them a lot of problems because when you go inside, go back outside, hit the three-pointers, which the Houston is very good at hitting three-point shots. They 22 of 50. They shot 53s. They made 22 of them. 24 of 27 from the line. They also drive to the basket well. So we have an aging team against a younger team that is very talented. The Spurs have a lot of, pedigree. They got the great coaching, they got the pedigree at the players, but they are older. And that bothers me a little bit about this, and it's why I'm not really excited about it. It's a great bounce back situation, but I'm not really sure that the Spurs can make changes that will make a significant difference between game one and game two. I have to side with the Spurs in this spot, but I'm very leery of the aging situation and the speed that they have to cover. Can they do it for a full game?
Yeah, the Houston Rockets got that easy cover in game one, but keep in mind their 4-11 spread run. Haven't been covering games for the last few weeks, and you don't see a Popovich team get embarrassed very often, but here are some of the numbers in bounce-back mode when they're off of a straight-up loss. They've been decent, 5-2-1 against the spread in a small sample, and when they get beat by double digits, it's the total that the trends point to. 18-8 over the total that next game, meaning the offense is click, and it might not be the powerhouse defense bounce back that you might expect, but they're going to need it if they're going to try and slow down Houston. And when these teams play head-to-head, it's 5-1-1 over the total here in San Antonio, and the road team is a perfect 6-0 against the spread. All right, let's move on to some baseball tonight. Wednesday night at AL East action, you got Toronto heading to the Bronx to play the Yankees. Toronto has all kinds of things going wrong this season. 9-18 record straight up, 5-10 on the road. The offensive numbers have totally plummeted as this lineup seems to have gotten old very quickly. They're currently number 26 in baseball in runs scored, 23 in on-base percentage, and 27th in slugging. We haven't seen that from this unit in quite a while. And yet, they're getting respect from odds makers here. It's pretty much a pick-em game in the Bronx with a total of 8.5. And you got a Yankee team that's actually been playing very well. Why is this number close to a pick-em?
Well, it usually comes down to your pitcher. Lines are usually based on the pitcher, but when you look at the bullpen, I mean, pitchers don't usually pitch 9 innings. So when you look at the bullpen, the Yankees have a big advantage there. And the Yankees' bats have been hot, and they have this kid, Aaron Judge, who is out of nowhere, is absolutely 2 home runs yesterday, 12 for the season. This is the Yankees are a little bit of a surprise. Sabathia came out and pitched well a couple of games. He got bounced around a little bit lately. But when you look at the starting pitchers, you're probably going to lean towards the Toronto starter. 2.97 ERA, 36 innings pitched, 36 hits. Base on balls are low. Strikeouts are 28 versus 7 base on balls. So you got a huge edge with Stroman over Sabathia. Not incapable, though. Sabathia can pitch a good game. He can come up. He's done it a couple times already this year. However, you're not expecting it, or you're not expecting that kind of consistency. You can look at the under here in that respect because there are some statistics that pull in that direction. However, the way the Yankees are hitting the ball, that makes that tough too. Toronto is 9-18 on the season, 5-10 away. This, you don't expect this from Toronto, but as in all things, even in business, you pay the older players that have accomplished a lot more money than they're probably worth because they reached that declining, which we all do, everybody does, state, and so they end up making more money and not producing, and that's what I'm seeing here with Toronto. They simply are not producing.
Yeah, they don't produce on offense. when Stroman, one of their better pitchers, goes just 4-9 when he starts, and when he starts on the road, just 3-10. And here it is, pretty close to a pick of mine. The Yankees playing great ball, 15-5 run. And when you look at some of the numbers, there's really few weaknesses with this team. The number 4 in runs scored, number 2 in on-base percentage, and slugging. The pitching is in the top 5 in baseball in team ERA, and Jim already mentioned that lights-out deep bullpen that they have that didn't see a lot of action last night. Yankees blew them away 11-5 last night, and here they are pretty much a pick 'em for tonight's game. Keep in mind when Sabathia starts with 4 days of rest, 12-5-1 under the total. And when these teams play, which is plenty of talented bats, it's 23-12-1 under the total. All right, that's going to do it for this Wednesday edition of Proline Daily. Jim, you've got a 5-day special off of another winning day yesterday.
That's right, I do. And you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jim Feist Sports. Sign up for 30 days of baseball for $499 now at jimfeist.com. Plus, you can get free daily plays by texting GAME, G-A-M-E, to 25827. And you talked about the 5 days of winning plays for $10, including a $500 high roller by calling my office right now, 866-546-9467.
All right, if you want to get free plays every day from Jim Feist, just call 888-294-1970 or go to jimfeist.com. That'll do it for the Wednesday edition of Proline Daily. We'll see you back on Thursday.